What's up, guys? Am I on here? You can hear me. Say something in the chat just so I know that I'm coming through loud and clear. But anyways, I'm gonna jump right in. I'm fired up. I just got off. I just finished a one-on-one workout with the Navy SEAL. First time I ever worked out with the Navy SEAL. Kicked my ass. And this is someone who follows me on Instagram actually, and they reached out to me and they know they've heard me talk about my admiration for Navy SEALs. I was raised with a military father, so I love that discipline, the structure that the military have. And he asked me if I wanted to do a workout with him today, and I was excited to work out with the Navy SEAL. So it was awesome. We did it right through the computer video chat like this, and man, it kicked my ass. And what's up, Charlie? Let me know if you can hear me. Just want to make sure that I'm not talking to myself here. I don't mind. I talk to myself all the time. But anyways, we did a workout playing a game, something that I'd never heard of before. And it was he said it was a deck of cards thing where basically every card was for a different exercise. And the higher the card, so, you know, if it was an 8, then we would do 8 push-ups or 8 squats or whatever it landed on. And it kicked my ass. And it was interesting because when we were first starting, what he said that the mindset of somebody that'll never be a Navy SEAL is the person that hopes for the lower card, that hopes to get a 2 or a 3. He said the mindset of the Navy SEAL is the one who wants the higher card. They want the 10. They want every time. They want the bigger challenge so that they can become stronger. And so I loved that. So we went through the whole deck of cards several times, kicked my ass. I'm fired up. So, but anyways, I wanted to do this live stream here talking about transcending beyond addiction. I was just reflecting about how I've had this channel now for over a year, about a year and a half now. And it's been awesome to see how it's grown. And some of you guys have been coaching and working with for a while now. And some of you have come so far that we're way beyond weed addiction. We've transcended beyond that. I mean, I'm working with somebody right now who in the beginning, you know, they were a total mess. Now they're making over $10,000 a month with their business. They are ripped. They're in shape. And on our calls now, we think back like, wow, this is how it all started. Getting, cellular weed addiction. And so the goal is to transcend beyond that you want your purpose to become so great that weed becomes irrelevant. The purpose so great that the sacrifice and the work required is irrelevant, that it doesn't matter, that you're not thinking about, wow, I got to sacrifice, never getting high, never being able to go out with the boys and do the bullshit that you were doing before. That becomes irrelevant. In fact, when the purpose is great enough, you see that weed is the enemy, that it's holding you back. You start to see your vices as the enemy, as what is holding your back. And that's what when I'm working, if you're new to my channel, go back through all the videos, because a lot of the things that you have questions about, I have already covered. And as we get deeper in this channel and keep going into further topics, the goal is to transcend beyond addiction, to get you to get your habits so in line and so in check that the weed becomes irrelevant, that it's something that it's an anchor. It's holding you back, your back in your life. And this is one of the things that I want you to, to take a moment to do this today. This is something that I did that changed my life, and to get out a notebook and write down what are the anchors in your life that are holding you back. Only you know this. Write down the things that are holding you back in your life. You may be successful. I mean, I talk with people that are CEOs of company. They're millionaires. They're 6-figure earners, and yet they're stuck smoking weed. And this, and they see this as the only thing that is holding them back in their life. But I know that it is bullshit, and I call them out on it, because you say that weed is the only thing holding you back in your life, yet you're fat, you're overweight. So you're fucking lying to me. You're telling me that weed is the only thing that's holding you back. It's the only vice, the only thing that you have. That's bullshit. I don't care how much money you make. If you're overweight and you have poor health and you got all these bad habits, then it's nothing. It's not impressive to me as somebody who has a Mercedes or a BMW and they pull out of the car with the big fat gut. And so write down on this piece of paper all the anchors, all the vices in your life that are holding you back in your life, and only you know this. Maybe it's porn, masturbation. This is a big one for a lot of guys that I talk with in life, that they're addicted to porn, masturbation. And how the fuck can you ever reach your highest level of potential and success in your life if you can't even control your fucking willy? If you can't even control your zipper, if you can't even control little worm in your fucking pants, then how are you ever going to reach your highest level of enlightenment, your highest level of success, your highest level of potential, when you can't even control the basics? How are you going to reach your highest level in life of success, fitness, enlightenment, when you can't even control what you ingest? You can't even control the food that you eat. Maybe you're able to be successful in one area in making money, but how are you going to reach your full potential if you can't even control something as basic and as fundamental as what you eat? And so, and that's why when I'm working with people, all these come together, and these are the things that I work on to the point that I get you to take pride in your habits, take pride in your consistency. Take pride in that consistency. I'm going to say it again and again. Strength comes from repetition. It's okay if I say the same things over and over again, because strength comes from repetition. Take pride in the consistency. Take more pride in the consistency than the result. Most people are so concerned about getting the result that they want in life. They want to become successful. They want to have a certain number of followers, a certain number of subscribers, but they don't take any pride in the consistency. I have multiple YouTube channels, and when I started this channel, as you guys know, last year, I pounded out hundreds of videos last year. I didn't care about the subscribers. I didn't care about any of that. I was talking to myself for a long time. I took pride in the consistency. Hey, I don't care who's listening to me. I'm uploading videos and putting them up. That's what I took pride in. Take more pride in the consistency than the result. And consistency ties into accountability. That's what sobriety and living this life is all about. It's that accountability. And that's why I'm a big one of no days off. When it comes to exercise, when it comes to taking right action, and it comes to character. No taking days off. I hate that when people ask me, is it okay if I just smoke on the weekend, or if I just smoke in moderation? That is a weak ass question. I'm just gonna tell you how it is, and if you don't like that as an answer, then there's plenty of other channels out there and people are out there that are gonna tell you what you want to hear. But that's not what I'm gonna do. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make a difference. And that I'm here to, my ultimate intention is to get you guys to better your life. I would rather you hate me. I would rather you dislike me and get better in life than to like me and just stay the fucking same. You know how easy it would be to just tell me all the bullshit that you just want to hear, that, it's okay, just wean off weed, just do 1 gram, and then the next day, do a little bit. No, fuck that. It's cold turkey. You quit cold turkey and you never go back. Consistency. Take pride in the consistency. That is what's going to hold you accountable in your life. And those who coach me one-on-one, they know that I don't care about counting the days that you've been sober. To me, that's irrelevant. I take more pride, and I want you to take pride in how many days have you exercised in a row? How many days have you implemented the habits, the homework that I recommended? That's what I want on, till the weed becomes irrelevant. These bad habits, you see them as an enemy. It's not even a problem that you're so ingrained in working on your purpose in your work in life that these things become irrelevant. You see them as holding you back. when your purpose is great enough, waking up early in the morning isn't even a challenge. You don't even like the fact that you got to sleep so much. You want to get up and start your day and working on it because you see time is precious and you don't want to waste it because you see it as things that are taking you away from your purpose. So I see a bunch of you guys are coming on here. Let me see if you guys have some good questions. I'm gonna answer them. Glad my audio is good. Like I said, I'm fired up right now, so I'm just flowing. I recently hit a year free from weed. Hey man, that's awesome, Charlie. I love hearing that. I still really need to quit vaping nicotine though. Then quit. Done. No weaning off. None of the nicotine gum. Just quit. That's it. Yeah, you're gonna go through some withdrawals. Good. Yeah, you're going to have a couple, you're going to have nights where you can't sleep. Good. Pain is the cost of growth. Embrace it. Like it. Yes, motherfucker. That's what I need. This is the cost of growth. The pain of withdrawals and the irritability, the anxiety you're going to feel this week from quitting the nicotine is the only thing that is holding you back. You're going to get through that 1 week, 2 week, a month, whatever it is required. That little tiny gap in your life, it is what is holding you back from reaching your highest potential, from reaching the person that you could become. Just this little gap in your life. If it takes you a full month, which I don't even think it'll take that long, if it takes you a full month to recover, 12 months in a year, that's just a tiny little chunk of your year. It's worth it. Embrace the pain. Hey, consistency is key. That's right. I'm getting a job and I recently started playing soccer again, starting to make positive habits. I love that. Hey, Mike, that's great, man. Hey, man, big fan. I've decided to quit weed because I realized it made me depressed and anxious. I've been smoking for about 4 months now. Any advice on how to path the withdrawals, especially the mental? Hey, man, first of all, I want to say you're so lucky. You've only been smoking for 4 months. You guys have been following me, you know that I was smoking for almost 2 decades. A lot of the people that I work with and I talk to, they have been smoking for decades. So if you've only been smoking weed for a couple of months, quit now. Well, you got a head start. Of course, weed is going to make you depressed and anxious. It's it's just for most people when they smoke weed, at least a lot of it, it starts to make you depressed and anxious, especially if you're smoking a lot of it. Any advice on how to pass through the withdrawals, especially the mental? Just go it. Embrace it. Know that you're going to have some withdrawals and say, good that you have the withdrawals. Suffering is good because it shows you that you're really alive. You're really in the game of life. That's what suffering is, the origin of consciousness. A lot of you guys, a lot of people, they don't reach their potential. They don't quit smoking weed because as soon as stuff starts to get uncomfortable, then they go back to smoking, doing their bad habits. Uncomfortable, that's nothing. You want to get to the point where you're exhausted. That's where the growth begins. If you're just working out at the gym, a lot of people, they work out, they don't work out until exhaustion. They barely even work out until they're uncomfortable. Oh, I did, 8 curls. Okay, I'm going to wait 5 minutes until my next set. No, somebody that really is making gains and growth knows that you don't even start counting. You don't even start the timer until you are literally exhausted. That's when it begins. Okay, now the workout has started. So the withdrawals, yeah, of course, you're going to have them, but that's good. That's just the beginning. Embrace it. That means you're alive. That means you're in the game of life. Like it, because that suffering is what's going to keep you in the now. The withdrawals are going to keep you in the now. And in the universe, in life, when the further that we deviate away from natural law and universal law, spiritual law, there is always going to be consequences. So withdrawals are the consequences. That's the penalty that we pay for abusing the entheogen marijuana. That's the penalty that we have to pay. And you guys that are on this channel, you guys obviously have abused it just like I did. You weren't somebody that just did it once a year or something like that. And that's the penalty that we have to pay, is those withdrawals, those physical withdrawals. Embrace it. Good. Make the best of it. There's no way of skipping through it. So, like I was saying today, write down the anchors, write down the things that you need to improve in your life. And it doesn't necessarily mean that all of them are going to be fixed and worked on overnight, But identify all the different things that are holding you back in your life. The smoking weed, your weight, your health. Maybe you can't wake up in the morning. Maybe you hit this snooze 15 times before you got to get out of the bed. Write all these things down. That way you can know what to work on. You see the things in your life that are holding you on, that are holding you down. And those are the areas that you got to work on. Most people only ride on their strength. They are successful, in real estate or whatever. They're really successful, but they don't work on the fact that they got titties. You're a guy and you got titties and you got a big fat gut. They don't work on that. It's just they're successful in real estate, so everything's all good. No, work on your strength. Your potential in life is gonna be capped and peaked at your weaknesses. So my cousin, he was very successful lawyer. He had multiple Rolls Royces, yet his health was shit. He died in his mid-40s due to his third heart attack. So his potential in life was capped, peaked by his bad habits, by his weaknesses. So our weaknesses in life are going to be the things that are going to hold us back. So you may be really successful, but if you smoke weed every single day, that'll limit you from reaching your highest potential. Maybe you can still go further, but you'll never reach the highest level with a vice, with an anchor like that. It's hard for a boat to be able to go its fastest when it has the anchor in the water. You see what I'm saying? And that's why we want to be working on all these different anchors, always recognizing our weaknesses and then working on them. So one of the simplest things, a lot of very simple things that I work on with people, because again, it's the basics, it's the foundations, it's the we live in a day and age where everybody wants the fancy bullshit. They want the fanciest workout, the latest, greatest, exercise. We really don't need any of that bullshit. Just push-ups, squats, burpees, and running can get you ripped. That's what I do for about 90% of my workouts, just the basics. Yeah, I do some fancy shit too, but the basics. If you master the basics in life, you will get further than all the other people who are the jack of all trades. So one of the other things, like I was saying, keeping it simple is one of the things that I work on with people is waking up early in the morning. The morning routine is arguably one of the most important things that you can ever work on. The morning routine. Win the morning, win the day. And for most people, they get up, they hit the snooze 5 times or more before they get out of bed. Understand this. Every time that you hit the snooze, ding, that's a loss. Okay, you hit the snooze 5 times before you get out of bed. Ding, ding, ding. You just tapped out. Before you even rolled out of bed, you stacked 5 L's in your day. 5 losses before you even got out of bed. 5 losses. That's not the way to start the day. So as soon as your alarm clock goes off, as soon as it's time to get up, you get up. You start the day with a win, with a W. Never hit the snooze. That is the worst thing that you can do. Don't start the day with a loss. Always start the day with a win. So that's the one of the basics of it. Regardless of what time you do wake up, never hit the snooze because you're starting the day with a loss, and you want to start the day with a win. Win the morning, win the day. So what time should you wake up in the morning? A lot of people, ask me, and I work with people that have all different kinds of professions. Some of them have the night shift, the morning shift, all different shifts. What I say is wake up in the morning at whatever is hard for you. If you work a normal schedule and you wake up at 7, 8 a.m. and the thought of waking up at 6 a.m. is hard for you, then that's it. That's it. Let your conscious guide you. Your conscious will guide you in doing, what is just right. It'll tell you what's too much, what's not enough. Allow your conscious to guide you. And what you can't do, you must do. The obstacle is the way. So if you're used to waking up at 6 a.m. every day, and you know that getting up a little bit earlier at 5:30 would make the difference in your life so that you can get shit done before your kids wake up. But, 5:30, that's so early. You must. That's it. That's what time you got to wake up. Don't even need to discuss it anymore. On to the next thing. That is it. what you can't, you must. The obstacle is the way. And that's why it's funny. I have people who will reach out to me and they'll say, I'm not sure if I should quit smoking weed or not because, I'm successful, I make good money. I'm successful. I have, my own insurance company. I work out. I'm in good shape. I'm not really sure if I should quit smoking weed or not. If you're coming to me with that question, boom, you should, because you wouldn't even be asking me that question if it wasn't an issue. But the fact that you're even asking me about it means you should. If that's your conscience speaking through to you, the fact that you even have to play these mental gymnastics in your head about whether you should or not, that's it. The obstacle is the way. You're just trying to play these mental gymnastics, hoping that I come back and tell you what you want to hear. Yeah, if you work out, you're successful. I don't think it's so bad, No, fuck that. You're coming to me with this question. You should. Over. End of story. Now let's keep working on new things. That's it. Okay? Because you wouldn't be asking me about this shit. It's the same thing when people come to me asking me about pornography, masturbation. If you're asking me about this, if this is a problem for you, it is. Because if you didn't even consider it a problem, you wouldn't be coming to me asking me about this. If your conscious is what is your guilty consciousness. Your conscious, it's said that your conscious is a direct line of communication to God. And so we have to get better at recognizing our guilty conscience. The reason why we get a guilty conscience, is because that is the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, trying to tell you what you're doing is wrong and that you need to make changes in your life. How the fuck else is the universe supposed to tell you? What are they supposed to send you an email? Hey, Charlie, you need to quit, nicotine, sincerely God, sincerely the universe. That's not how it works. And I'm not picking on you, Charlie. I just threw your name out there because I saw it in the chat. How else is the universe, the spirit world, God? What do you expect? Like a billboard on the side of the road to be dedicated just to you? Like, hey, this is the sign you've always been looking for. No, that's not how it works. The guilty conscience, that is the direct line of communication to the spiritual, to God, the universe, whatever you want to perceive it as. That's irrelevant. That's to you. But the guilty conscience is something to be taken seriously and not to be ignored. And there's a reason why we have that sensation, that guilty conscience, because that is the spirit within our heart trying to tell us, hey, you know what? I don't think you should be smoking weed every single day. And you play these mental gymnastics in your head. Maybe it's okay. I get all my other shit done. But your guilty conscience never lies. The conscious never lies. The conscious doesn't know. The conscious is the one thing in our life that we can always trust. Other than that, it's hard to trust about anything else. But the conscious is the one thing in our life that'll never lie, that maybe we just misunderstood it, but our consciousness is always the voice of truth. It's up to us to discern it and understand the message and to appreciate and recognize what's really being said. Like I said, I'm fired up after that workout with that Navy SEAL. So let me see some of the messages here. Some of the things I started doing out there, blah, blah, blah. Hey, man, that's good to hear. You're running, morning meditation, yoga, 4 days a week. Hey, man, that's some great to hear. Can't believe the amount of money and time I wasted getting high. Hey, believe me, I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on weed, alcohol, drugs, getting high. So it's painful to think about sometimes. So I feel you on that. Why should a young man not smoke weed? Hey, you know what? If you want to smoke weed, smoke weed. I am not here to convince you not to smoke weed. I'm only here to help people that want to be helped. If I'm not here to, I'm not here to play those games. I've done videos on this before. I'm not here. My intention is to reach people and to help people that want to be helped. If you want to keep smoking weed and you find that it is not a problem in your life, it's helping you, keep smoking it. All right. This isn't the channel for you. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Charlie, 100%. Is there permanent damage that comes to smoking weed? Yeah, the loss of potential. I think that is the greatest damage of all, is ending your life knowing, having to die with the greatest pain of all, the pain of regret, knowing that you didn't live up to your potential. So that is the permanent damage. All right, win the morning, win the day. Yep, I'm a heavy weed smoker of 8 years. Started when I was 14. Quit now, man. I smoked for almost 20 years, so it just gets harder and harder the longer you go along. Bro, I also want to ask, is weed withdrawals have to do with the emotions? For example, I'd be fine during the day and suddenly I get very emotional and sad, and I get very sad and like I want to go back to my ex and I miss her. Oh my God, I love your responses. You're so authentic. Thanks, I appreciate that. This is to Anas Alali, I think I pronounced it right, about the emotions. Yeah. The first 30 days is an emotional roller coaster. Not gonna, I'm gonna be real with you on that. When you're first quitting weed, if you've been a heavy weed smoker, those first 30 days are gonna be emotional roller coasters. There's gonna be some days when you feel so fired up and motivated, and then all of a sudden later the day, you're gonna feel depressed and sad. So just know that going into it. Know that first 30 days is gonna be an emotional roller coaster. It's okay. It's okay to be human. Give yourself permission to go through that. So know that when you start getting emotional and sad, that's part of it. And you mentioned about being sad and wanting going back to your ex and missing her. Embrace, if you're single and you've gone through a breakup, don't look back, move forward. You focus on becoming the best version of yourself. I have time to time people will ask me about how to get their ex back, how to get girls, whatever, blah, blah, blah. My thing is this: crush your life so hard, rock your life, your habits, your discipline, your rituals, become so damn successful in your life. And I'm not talking about from a monetary perspective. Become so damn rock solid with your principles, your consistency, your habits, that the women, the girls are chasing you. So, and I'm not saying that because I'm a player. I live like a monk. I've been single for a while. I live like a monk, but I know that it is a lot harder to attract the opposite sex when your rituals, your habits, your lifestyle is all fucked up. You're broke. But when you got your shit in line and your rituals, you're going to attract everybody to you. You're going to attract men who are going to want to coach with you. They're going to want to learn from you. Women are going to be attracted to you. So the best way to, get over your ex and to move forward is to become the best version of yourself. And then, you may attract her back into your life if that is what you want, or you'll attract someone better. But use that emotional pain that you feel towards your ex, channel that towards your workout. Pain is one of the greatest gifts in life. Channel that pain, that anger, the tears, the sadness that you feel from the breakup, channel it into your workout. Go out there and go run until you're going to throw up, tears in your eyes. Go outside and do push-ups until you feel the battery acid pouring through your body. Channel that pain into your workouts. Pain is one of the greatest sources of energy. But don't sit there, crying, thinking about your ex. Use that shit for pain to move yourself forward. Can you advise on building your social confidence without needing weed, especially talking to girls? I use it to handle social situations as I am naturally an introverted sort of guy. Weed never helped me in the socializing department. It was a big part of my social life, but every time I smoked, I became more of an idiot. And so I've always found that, I'm a lot better at socializing when I am sober. But with that being said, instead of worrying about the social aspect, and I don't know how old you are, but embrace the thought of solitude, of going on this journey alone. Don't worry about, nobody's going to invite you out to their friend's house anymore because you're living this sober life. That's going to happen. If you decide to live this sober life, I can assure you that all the motherfuckers that you thought were your friends are not going to be reaching out to you all the time. A lot of these people that you thought it was so meaningful to smoke to maintain your relationship or to go out to the bar with and drink, as soon as you give up this shit, all of a sudden your phone stops ringing. because they weren't really your fucking friends. They just liked you because it helped to justify their bad habits, and you guys gave each other permission to maintain this type of life. So dedicate yourself to improving yourself. Be okay with a life of solitude. And what'll happen as you go in this path, I can assure you, over time, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to want to hang out with you. I get that all the time. People always want to hang out with me, and I'm always saying no, because I value how I am. I love my habits. I love my rituals. Of course, I do have a social life, but last night, Saturday night, I had people that wanted to hang out, do things. I stayed in. I stayed in reading, went to bed early, got up early this morning. Find pride in that, because if you can learn to live your life happy and fulfilled alone, you're going to be one of the happiest people ever. I could get thrown in a prison cell, and I know this sounds crazy, but I would probably be happier and more peaceful being in prison than right now, because I have found happiness and peace in having things taken away from me. It took me a while to get to this point, but if you can learn to find peace and happiness in the solitude, instead of requiring external things such as friends and all kinds of materialistic crap. If you always need that things to be fulfilled in your life, then as soon as things start to get taken away from you, then you're gonna feel like you're missing out. You're gonna feel like things are being taken away from you, and you're gonna get sad and you're depressed. So instead, be grateful. Try to intentionally take things away from your life. I'm always trying to take things out of my life. I make very good money. I make a 6-figure income, yet I live like I am broke. I live a very humble, simple life. I'm debt-free. I make good money, but you wouldn't be able to guess it out in the street or wherever, because I buy clothes like once every 2 years. I live a very humble, simple life. I intentionally try to take things away from me so that I can stay hungry, that I can stay in this state. So where are we going here? Blah, 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 blah. I feel like I got off a little bit topic. Hey, that happens. Y'all know, if you've been following me for a while, I get off topic. I go with the flow when I'm in the flow state. I think you were asking me about, okay, blah, blah, blah. Hold on a sec. Let me catch up. Can you advise on building your social competency? I answered that. Thank you for what you do. You've helped me a lot. I appreciate that, Dana. Your video on giving myself permission to be depressed, to feel and accept the withdrawals made all the difference. Glad to hear that. The longer you use, the deeper hole you got to dig yourself out of. True, very true. So happiness comes from within. Keep up the good work from across the pond. Maddie, are you local or something? So I have ponds all around me, so I was curious about that. But anyways, guys, I want to been on here for a little over 30 minutes, so I'm going to be getting off in just a minute now. I'm going to end with a couple of things that I do want to mention real quick. If you could, leave a comment about some things that you would like from me. What kind of videos that you would like, what kind of content, suggestion, things like that. I like hearing these things. Not saying that I'm 100% do it, but I do like getting your feedback and ideas so that I can better serve you. I may make this a weekly thing where, every week I hop on here as like a Transcending Beyond Addiction type of a motivational talk. Let me know how you feel about that. But I want to end this call, this chat, live stream, whatever you want to call it, with a couple of homework assignments that I want you guys to commit to doing by the end of today. And then I know you guys wrote a couple things. I'll get to those. So the first thing, I want you guys to write down, get out a journal, whether you want to do it online or on a paper journal, and write down your anchors. Title of it, anchors. Write down the things in your life that are holding you back. You don't have to spend an hour doing this. Just do it real quick. No excuses. The other thing that I want you guys to do today, if you haven't, is exercise. No matter what it is. I don't care if it's 5 minutes of exercise. Do something by the end of today. I don't care if you're watching this on replay or live. Commit to doing exercise by the end of today. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be you go run a marathon. It could be 5 minutes worth of exercise, but exercise by the end of the day. And it doesn't matter to me what time it is. If it's 11 p.m. at night where you are, good. Exercise before that it hit midnight. I don't care what time it is. Those are excuses. They're irrelevant. So exercise by the end of today. Commit to doing something physical by the end of the day. And the reason why I say that is because one of the most common things that I hear from people, especially in coaching, is the lack of energy. And of course, these are always people that don't exercise consistently. This is the deal. The more that you give of yourself in this life, the more that the universe will give back to you in the form of energy. And this is why you can see preachers, pastors, speakers on stage who speak for 8-10 hours straight, and it seems like they're never run out of energy. That's because the universe rewards those that give back by giving them energy. And this also comes down to physical exercise as well. This vehicle of yours, this body, is to be respected. And so if you are using your body, exercising, or active, I talk from a stand-up desk. Right now I'm standing up. I found that the more that I give, the more energy that I give back. And if you're lazy, you sleep in, you don't exercise, the universe is going to suck the energy right out of you, and it's going to feel like you have no energy at all. So if you condition yourself to exercise every single day, the universe is going to reward you by giving you more energy. It's bizarre how it works. I just read a study recently from scientists. They discovered that birds and fish, as they're moving, that the flying and the swimming is what creates the energy within them, that it generates the energy. That's how they get energy, from flying, from swimming. Science sometimes is late catching up to these things. This is old news, nothing new. So we generate the energy from within, and that's how the universe rewards us for giving of ourselves. I had a book recommendation. Great question, Dana. I do have a lot of book recommendations that I could give you. I'm a big reader, but I'm going to just recommend one book just to keep it simple. Get this book today. No excuses. I don't care if you got to sell your shoes. Get this book. This is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I've read this book 5 times. I'm going to read it actually again. I first read it, I think, when I was 18 or 19, changed my life. I could recommend a lot of other books, but get only one. Let's start one step at a time. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Get this book today. No excuses. So I don't care what the cost of it is. It's not much, $10, $15, $20. Get it on Kindle. Go to the bookstore, get it right away. Go to the library, get it for free. No excuses. Get this and start reading it today. If you've already read it, read it again. People, a lot of times they don't like hearing the same message. Oh, I've already heard this message. I already know this. I know this. That's, take pride in the consistency. Strength comes from repetition. Some of the most successful people I know in my life are not people that have read a lot of books, but they've read the same books over and over and over. They read the same couple of books over and over and over and over. Strength comes from repetition. So don't be afraid to read a book again just because you've already read it. All right, I'm gonna let me go through these last things here, and then I'm gonna be getting off here shortly. From England. What's up, Maddie from England? I love that, man. How much time do you think it will take to get back to normal? As long as it takes. It's going to take as long as it takes. And honestly, I don't know if I've ever gone back to normal. I don't even know what this normal is. And, a lot of people think that there will eventually be a time if they quit smoking weed that, they're just, everything's always going to be sunshine and roses and blah, blah, blah. And they're going to feel good. I don't know if that really exists. I do think I'm a little bit permanent fucked up from all the almost 2 decades of smoking weed, smoking shit that was laced, all kind of other things. Just don't worry about how long it's going to take. It's the same question when people say, how many push-ups should I do, in my workout? As many as it takes. Just keep moving forward. Don't worry about it. Take pride in the journey. Fall in love with the journey, not the destination. Take pride in the consistency. And as you get your habits in line, and you get your principle and your character in line, regardless of what normal is, at the end of the day, you're going to go to sleep with pride. which is one of the most valuable feelings in the world, being able to rest your head on the pillow at night, knowing that you maintained character, knowing that you didn't bitch out and tap the bell at the last minute because, oh, the kids were driving me crazy and I got stressful, so I had to have a glass of wine and some weed. No, the greatest feeling is when you can go to bed at the end of the night knowing that you maintained character that day. That's the pride. That's close to as normal that I can recommend. I don't know if I'll ever get back to normal I was before. All right, blah, blah, blah. The Happiness Trap, great book for anxiety. I feel like I read that book before. I think I have. So yeah, lots of great books out there. My phone turned off. What did you say about anchors? Not going over it again. So you're going to have to rewatch this video. I'll post it. You can go back, watch this whole thing again. Anything for helping headaches? Headaches. Drink more water. I find that's one of the biggest things. Drink 1 to 2 gallons of water a day, especially in the beginning. When you're first quitting weed, for the first 30 days, drink 1 to 2 gallons of water every single day. And that should help with the headaches. Thank you so much for today. Hey, I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Glad that this inspired you. Read the Bible. Yeah, the spiritual books are excellent. I love reading all the religious spiritual books. A lot of wisdom in all those books. Amir, he said, write down anchors in your life. Yep, thank you. I have a question. Went through withdrawals 2 weeks ago. Felt fine for a couple of days. And then had another false high and went through less intense withdrawals. Is this normal? I'm not really sure exactly what you mean by that. I went through withdrawals 2 weeks ago, felt fine for a couple of days, and then had another false sense high. I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but like I mentioned before, the first 30 days is a roller coaster. And I've had that before in the past where I quit and all of a sudden it was like I got high out of nowhere and I was like, what the fuck is going on? I haven't even smoked. I think the THC was still in the system or something. So human body is weird. A lot of people think that the human body is like a bank account, but the human body is like a chemistry set. And so cleansing, detoxing, whatever, all of a sudden you may have a chunk of fat, THC in it, and it gets you high randomly. So I'm not, I know that's just kind of bro science, pseudoscience on that. I'm not sure, just sharing from my own experience. I haven't smoked in 5 months, but I still feel weird. Do you think this will go away? I always still feel weird. So learn to deal with it. I think that's the best thing. Sometimes I feel like I'm permanently high, but just learn to deal with it. That's why I love, the suffering. That's why I love getting up early, crushing workouts, pushing myself hard, because that suffering brings me back into the now and shows me that I'm still alive and I'm in it. And about all mental illnesses are literally just consequences for being selfish. For anxiety. Anxiety is the disease of those that are lazy and aren't giving enough physical exercise. So as you start exercising more, pushing yourself to exhaustion, you're not going to have time to think about if you feel weird, the anxiety, these different things. Push yourself further. Thank you, George. All right, guys. I'm going to be getting off here. So if you have any other questions, anything you want to say, leave a comment. I'll post this video so you guys can rewatch it. And I may start making this like a weekly thing. I like doing this. It was fun. So I hope you all have a great day. I appreciate you too, Doghouse. And as you know what I'm going to say, let's make today a great day, a great week, a great month, a great year. Let's make it a great life. Peace out.